As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Use your own discernment. This is not meant to provide any financial, legal, therapy advice at all. So, now that we have that out of the way, I know, I get sick of saying it. I'm sure you get sick of hearing it. There are a couple things I forgot to address in my last video about Arthur Findlay. There were so many people who had an impact on both my gifts, my knowledge, sharing, generous enough to share their gifts and wisdom with me, as well as really to make the experience great. And I felt so bad after the last video. And like I've told you before, I'm never going to redo them. So I wanted to add it to this video. There was a lovely lady who told me in the reading that I really like solving, and this was someone who was a complete stranger. She just did a quick reading for me as part of her mediumship skills. She told me that I really love solving complex, dark, helping people figure out their dark, put it that way, like it was a puzzle. God, she was right in retrospect. At the time, it resonated, but it didn't really resonate. Now I completely understand it. Hey, that's what hopefully these videos help you with your own dark. There was also a lovely Canadian friend who was incredible with tarot. She just had mad skills. And we talked a lot about twin flames and the twin flame journey. It's so fascinating now, viewpoints and how they evolve. Just as a little disclaimer, now with the twin flame journey, so much out there is misinformation. If you think about it, why would the universe, God, Buddha, Allah, whatever you want to call it, want you as someone who treats you like shit? So, if you're looking at the twin flame journey and you think your twin flame is treating you like shit, it's not your twin flame. That's my perspective anyway. Food for thought. There was also someone who was like the sun. And what I mean by that is she was a lovely Irish lady that was a Reiki master that started with one of our sessions healing me. And literally, her healing, she didn't even touch me, felt like I was burnt by the sun, but in a good way. She had crazy, crazy skills. It felt like she was healing me from the inside out. It was so amazing. And historically, before this journey started a long time ago, I had tried Reiki many times. I always say it wrong, so forgive me. And it never worked. I was like, what did I just waste my money on? She was incredible. She had crazy, crazy skills. That's the beauty of Arthur Findlay, actually. You meet all of these incredibly gifted people from all walks of life, from all different parts of the world. Just was an incredible experience with the students there. Okay, so on to the journey, the next step in the journey. I took the train from Stansted into London, and just so you know, at this point in time, I'm finally embracing the digital nomad, all the good things about being a digital nomad. I took the train from Stansted into London. It was super easy to grab and super cheap. I was excited about spending a few days kind of blowing off steam in London, seeing I was already there before I headed to Amsterdam. And I was still coaching, so I was playing in London during the day and then coaching at night. It was kind of nice to have a reverse schedule. Gotta love time changes. And I have a rule when I travel, and I just think this is important to note. I keep everything around $1,000 a month. That includes flights, that includes hotels, and I don't always hit it, but I normally hit it. And that's kind of the goal. I have so many people who say, hey, when you're traveling overseas, I wish I could do that. And the reality is, I paid way more in rent in the United States. So it's important to understand that you can do it and do it cheaply if you're super careful about it. So I just wanted to mention that as I'm talking about it. It's the equivalent of the US rent, and that includes everything, no matter where I go. That's what I'm trying to hit. Sometimes I exceed it, like I said, by a little bit, and sometimes I don't. I'm usually super lucky and can keep it to that. And London, surprisingly, was no different. I found the Bedford Hotel, and I just like to tell you guys about these great finds. Again, you'll do your own travel, you'll figure out where you want to go. It was in a great location, though. I was stunned that I found it there. It was walking distance to the theater district, and London still had beautiful holiday lights. And again, keep in mind, I'm still in the journey back in 2023. I know, I need to record more. Sorry about that. one of the things that I wanted to do was get my hair dyed red for the winter. And so you can see that on the earlier videos, both from Amsterdam. That's probably the one that shows it up most. And I have to tell you, I stopped into Ina Salon, and Serena was the sweetest. She had lots of spunk, and she's an amazing master colorist. So again, go see her if you're over there. She did an incredible job. I think the videos were back in January of 2023. So you can see that, talking about the earlier steps in my journey. I know, a little confusing. Follow the timeline. One of the most incredible experiences when I was in London was I'm getting shampooed by a lovely shampoo girl. And all of a sudden, I had a lady pop up and gave me a message for the shampoo girl. This stuff can happen anywhere. So she was in training to be a stylist. So I gave her the message. She was receptive, asked her if she wanted it, and she was stunned. It was really sweet experience in the middle of getting my hair washed. You know, I found that the universe was bringing me little gifts my whole time in London, and I really just had a good time for a couple days. I talk about manifestation before, putting it out to the universe, and usually the universe delivers if it comes from the right place. I was looking for a really old school vintage leather coat. And so while I was at the hairstylist getting my hair done, which takes forever because as you can see, it's thick and long, they told me about a vintage place. Walked into the vintage place and found my dream coat. 2 seconds, black leather, old school, love it. So the universe delivered again. You know, when I go to places, I try to, as you know from the Mongolian trip and other trips, I try to do kind of what is embedded in the culture, and London was no different. I wanted to have a proper tea, but I didn't really want to go and have, proper tea, meaning, fancy tea. So I found the greatest place called Tea and Tattle. It was this independent Oriental bookshop and gallery, and it was a super cozy tea room. So I got two loves at once. I had a original tea, fancy tea, and it was delicious. While I was sitting reading all sorts of books and looking at cool art and looking at books around the globe. Can't beat it. It's right near the British Museum if you ever go. Take advantage of it. It's super cute. Walking around London at the time, and again, I'm just doing a quick video. I just don't want to skip London. No big things at this point in the journey, but except for the fact that I was kind of finally, playing and enjoying. There were huge immersive displays with the tons of lights and kind of played around London. And I was walking around I had decided to go see a play. And so I was looking for tickets for Dirty Dancing. The cool thing was it was showing in London, West End, and I was lucky enough to have my lovely dead opposite witch friend that I talked about from Arthur Findlay. She was in London as well. And so we decided to go see Dirty Dancing with my friend. It was so much fun. I will tell you a quick story from it that was a highlight that ended up inspiring something else. So when we were at Dirty Dancing and we were all we were lined up for the bathrooms. The lines were so long in between kind of sessions in the theater. And so we were bored, and I was teasing my friend, and we were at Dirty Dancing, as you know. And so I told her, come on, let's do the lift. Now this is, there's a line all the way down the hallway, all the way down the bathroom. And so, of course, my friend being my friend was game. So she's a little one. So I'm like, all right, I'll be the base. So she comes running kind of down the hallway in the middle of the theater. Everyone's watching us. And she runs up and I kind of lift her and we totally mucked it up. It was so hysterical. We were dying laughing. Everyone in the crowd was dying laughing and they were super happy that we were entertaining them while we were waiting in the bathroom. As we were there, though, weirdly enough, that actually inspired me. I'd always wanted to learn to dance and never had any rhythm. And so I decided all of a sudden there and then after we did the lift and videoed it, it's the funniest video ever. We totally mangled it. That I should, after my Amsterdam trip, go to learn tango. Sexy dance, decided to embrace my feminine more. And what better way to do it than to learn dance and learn the tango. And I'd never been to Argentina, so there and then I said, all right, well, after I go to Amsterdam, I'll go to Buenos Aires. So again, you'll see that show up later in the videos, but that was where it was inspired, from our lovely mangled lift in the middle of the bathroom hallway. After we left Dirty Dancing, we went to a club in London. It was so interesting after the experience at Arthur Findlay. Clubs are fine. I don't go to them often, but at this point, I had been to them enough. But when I walked in this club, the music was pounding, people were everywhere. And again, that wouldn't have bothered me historically. But oh my God, I was super sensitive to energy. And I really wasn't feeling it. It felt like I was being barraged with the beat, with the people, with the dancing, with the everything. And I just couldn't take it for very long. It's so really interesting once you start being aware of energy, how affected you are. So anyway, we stayed there for a little bit, had a good time, met some funny people. And then I left and saw my friend off and told her I'd stay in touch with her, and then went back to my hotel. I had to get Nando's, which, for those of you who haven't had it, it's my favorite fast food. They have it in cities across the globe, but great. I think it's Portuguese originally. I'm not quite sure, but I highly recommend the halloumi and the chicken there. So anyway, got it real quick before I headed out, and then I was headed to Amsterdam. So, like I said, quick video, but until next time, see you.